CIET NCERT presents Audiobook of Mathematics for Class 5 entitled MATHMAGIC 5, page 146, Chapter 11, Area and its Boundary.
Part 1.
Whose slice is bigger? Parth and Ginny bought aam papar, that is, dried mango slice, from a shop. Their pieces looked like these. Piece A, 6 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Piece B, 11 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Both could not make out whose piece was bigger. Suggest some ways to find out whose piece is bigger. Discuss. A friend of Parth and Ginny showed one way using small squares. The length of piece A is 6 centimeters. So, 6 squares of side 1 centimeter can be arranged along its length. The width of piece A is 5 centimeters. So, 5 squares can be arranged along its width. Page 147. Altogether, how many squares can be arranged on it? Dash. So, the area of piece A is equal to dash square centimeters. Below this piece A, with small squares put up on its left and top side. And suddenly we also have a bird in the frame, a crow, which is telling us it's silly to count them all, just multiply. In the same way, find the area of piece B. Who had the bigger piece? How much bigger? Cover with stamps. This stamp has an area of 4 square centimeters. Guess how many such stamps will cover this big rectangle? Given here is a big rectangle, and on one corner of it, in the top left side, we see a stamp with an area of 4 square centimeters. For the teacher. Encourage children to first discuss different strategies for comparing the area of things by using different tokens, stamps, etc. In Class 4, they have compared irregular shapes by counting squares. In the case of rectangles, they can measure the sides to see how many squares of 1 centimeter side will fit in the whole shape. Page 148. Check your guess. A. Measure the yellow rectangle. It is dash centimeters long. B. How many stamps can be placed along its length? Dash. C. How wide is the rectangle? Dash centimeters. D. How many stamps can be placed along its width? Dash. E. How many stamps are needed to cover the rectangle? Dash. F. How close was your earlier guess? Discuss. G. What is the area of the rectangle? Dash square centimeters. H. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? Dash centimeters. Practice time. A. Arbaz plans to tile his kitchen floor with green square tiles. Each side of the tile is 10 centimeters. His kitchen is 220 centimeters in length and 180 centimeters wide. How many tiles will he need? Adjacent to it, we see a small picture of Arbaz sitting in his kitchen. He is holding a tile in his hand, and one tile has been stacked in one of the corners of the kitchen, showing its measurements. B. The fencing of a square garden is 20 meters in length. How long is one side of the garden? C. A thin wire 20 centimeters long is formed into a rectangle. If the width of this rectangle is 4 centimeters, what is its length? For the teacher, this guess and check activity can be done in the class by making use of other things present. For example, how many postcards can be placed on the top of the mathematics book? How many charts will cover the classroom walls, etc. Children can be asked to check their guesses by tiling things wherever possible. Once they are able to make close guesses, this work can be further extended by asking them to guess the area in terms of square centimeters. Page 149. D. A square carom board has a perimeter of 320 centimeters. How much is its area? E. How many tiles like the triangle given here will fit in the white design? Below this we see a blue-colored rectangle in which there are some white-colored triangles and a square in the middle. A bird, a wise one, tells us, pointing towards one of the triangles, this triangle is half of the centimeter square. Now you have to find area of design, which is equal to dash square centimeters. Make your own designs of area 4 and 6 square centimeters. F. Sanya, Arushi, Manav and Kabir made greeting cards. Complete the table for their cards. We have a table with 5 columns and 4 rows. Column 1 title is Whose Card? Column 2 says Length. Column 3 Width. Column 4 Perimeter. And column 5 Area. Now let's read the table row-wise. Whose card? Sanya. Length 10 centimeters. Width 8 centimeters. Perimeter dash. Area dash. Whose card? Manav. Length 11 centimeters. Width dash. Perimeter 44 centimeters. Area dash. Whose card? Arushi. Length dash. Width 8 centimeters. Perimeter dash. Area 80 square centimeters. Whose card? Kabir. Length dash. Width dash. Perimeter 40 centimeters. Area 100 square centimeters. We see the pictures of all the 4 students, Sanya, Arushi, Manav and Kabir, in the corner of the page, holding their greeting cards. Now, you have to complete this table, children, with the right answers. All the best. My belt is longest. Take a thick paper sheet of length 14 centimeters and width 9 centimeters. You can also use an old postcard. What is its area? What is its perimeter? Now cut strips of equal sizes out of it. Page 150. Using tape, join the strips, end to end, to make a belt. On the top right corner of the page, we see such a belt being made by one of the kids. The other kids are also trying to make their own belts and everyone is enjoying. Questions. How long is your belt? Dash. What is its perimeter? Dash. Whose belt is the longest in the class? Dash. Give your answers in the blank spaces provided. Discuss. Why did some of your friends get longer belts than others? Is the area of your belt the same as the area of the postcard? Why or why not? What will you do to get a longer belt next time? Below the picture of a boy holding his belt, and he is standing next to an elephant. He is telling us, this belt is for the elephant. Puzzle. Pass through a postcard. Can you think of how to cut a postcard so that you can pass through it? Observe the photograph. If you have tried hard enough and still not get it, look for the answer somewhere ahead. On the bottom right corner of the page, we have a picture of a boy who is just passing through a postcard and telling us, look, I can pass through a postcard. I made a loop without cutting the strips. For the teacher. The aim of the belt activity is to understand that things with the same area can take different forms and also have very different perimeters. While measuring sides, lengths in millimeters can be rounded off for this activity. Page 151. People everywhere. A. You can play this game in a ground. Make 2 squares of 1 square meter each. Divide your class in 2 teams. Ready to play? Just before we do that, a wise bird is here to tell us, with 4 MATHMAGIC books in a line, you can get the length of around 1 meter 9 centimeters. Now, try these in your teams. How many of you can sit in 1 square meter? Dash. How many of you can stand in it? Dash. Which team could make more children stand in their square? How many? Dash. Which team could make more children sit in their square? How many? Give your answers in the blank spaces. On the left side of the page we see one of the teams having lots of fun. B. Measure the length of the floor of your classroom in meters. Also measure the width. What is the area of the floor of your classroom in square meters? Dash. How many children are there in your class? Dash. So, how many children can sit in 1 square meter? Dash. If you want to move around easily, then how many children do you think should be there in 1 square meter? Dash. On the bottom right corner of the page, we see a classroom where all the children are trying to sit on the floor as much as possible in the least amount of space. Page 152. 2 birds are seen talking to each other and telling us something really important. Bird 1 says, can you imagine how big a square of side 1 kilometer is? It has an area of dash square kilometers. Guess how many people can live on that? The second bird says, in West Bengal, there are about 900 people living in a square kilometer. But in Arunachal Pradesh, it feels very lonely. There are less than 15 people living in a square kilometer. The chapter CIET NCERT presents Audiobook of Mathematics for Class 5 entitled MATHMAGIC 5. Page 152. Chapter 11. Area and its boundary.
Part 2.
Share the land. Nasrina is a farmer who wants to divide her land equally among her 3 children, Chumki, Jhumri, and Imran. She wants to divide the land so that each piece of land has 1 tree. Her land looks like this. We have a square grid shown here with 3 trees in it. That represents Nasrina's land. We also see Nasrina standing to the left of the land. One of her kids is standing with a dog on the right side. Can you divide the land equally? Show how you will divide it. Remember, each person has to get a tree. Color each person's piece of land differently. For the teacher, children are not expected to do conversion of square meters into square kilometers or vice versa. The aim of exercise B is to develop a sense of how big or small the units of square meters and square kilometers are. Page 153. If each square on this page is equal to 1 square meter of land, how much land will each of her children get? Dash square meters. Chumki, Jhumri, and Imran need wire to make a fence. Who will need the longest wire for fencing? Dash. How much wire in all will the 3 need? Dash. On the top right corner of the page, we see Chumki and Jhumri standing with their animals. And below this question, we see all the 3 kids holding their fencing wires. Practice time. A. Look at the table. If you were to write the area of each of these, which column would you choose? Make a tick mark. Here's a table with 4 columns. Column 2, 3, and 4 are all empty for you to make your correct answers by ticking. Column 2 says square centimeters, column 3 says square meters, and column 4 says square kilometers. Column 1 gives us all the items: handkerchief, sari, page of your book, school land, total land of a city, door of your classroom, chair seat, blackboard, Indian flag, land over which a river flows. To the left side of the table, we have small pictures of all these things. As an example, the first item, handkerchief, has been done for you. The right answer would be square centimeters. Now, put your thinking caps on and complete the table with the correct answers. Page 154. B. Draw a square of 9 square centimeters. Write A on it. Draw another square with double the side. Write B on it. Answer these. 1. The perimeter of square A is dash centimeters. 2. The side of square B is dash centimeters. 3. The area of square B is dash square centimeters. 4. The area of square B is dash times the area of square A. 5. The perimeter of square B is dash centimeters. 6. The perimeter of square B is dash times the perimeter of square A. On the right side, a picture of a girl with both squares A and B. She is trying to solve the puzzles and give the right answers. Answer. Pass through a postcard. Page 152. 1. Make lines on a postcard like this. We have a picture of a postcard with lots and lots of lines drawn on it in vertical manner. 2. cut the postcard only on the lines. A picture shows how this is supposed to be done. 3. So, you can pass through it. A picture shows how the postcard now looks after all the cutting is done. You know the area of the loop, don't you? It is dash. Give your answer in the blank space. Page 155. Thread play. Take a 15 centimeters long thread. Make different shapes by joining its ends on this sheet. We have a square grid in a large space, and a girl is standing below it holding her thread in her hands. A. Which shape has the biggest area? How much? Dash. What is the perimeter of this shape? Dash. B. Which shape has the smallest area? How much? Dash. What is the perimeter of this shape? Dash. Also make a triangle, a square, a rectangle, and a circle. Find which shape has biggest area and which has the smallest. Page 156. Save the birds. There are 2 beautiful lakes near a village. People come for boating and picnics in both the lakes. The village panchayat is worried that with the noise of the boats, the birds will stop coming. The panchayat wants motorboats in only one lake. The other lake will be saved for the birds to make their nests. On a square grid below this, we have the pictures of 2 lakes, A and B. We see birds on both the lakes. We also have the information mentioned. 1 centimeter on this drawing is equal to 1 kilometer on the ground. Questions. A. How many centimeter is the length of the boundary of Lake A in the drawing? Dash. Use thread to find out. B. What is the length of the boundary of Lake B in the drawing? C. How many kilometers long is the actual boundary of Lake A? D. How many kilometers long is the actual boundary of Lake B? E. A longer boundary around the lake will help more birds to lay their eggs. So, which lake should be kept for birds? Which lake should be used for boats? Page 157. F. Find the area of Lake B on the drawing in square centimeters. What is its actual area in square kilometers? King's story. The king was very happy with carpenters Cheggu and Anar. They had made a very big and beautiful bed for him. So, as gifts, the king wanted to give some land to Cheggu and some gold to Anar. We have the picture of king sitting on his bed and asking Cheggu, "Cheggu, take as much land as what comes within 100 meters of wire." Cheggu was happy. He took 100 meters of wire and tried to make different rectangles. He made a 10-meter by 40-meter rectangle. Its area was 400 square meters. So he next made a 30-meter by 20-meter rectangle. What is its area? Is it more than the first rectangle? What other rectangles can he make with 100 meters of wire? Discuss which of these rectangles will have the biggest area. Cheggu's wife asked him to make a circle with the wire. She knew it had an area of 800 square meters. On the right side of the page towards the bottom, we see a picture of Cheggu and his wife. Now, after realizing this, Cheggu is telling her, "Ha! I want this piece of land. It covers an area of 800 square meters." Why did Cheggu not choose a rectangle? Explain. On the bottom of the page, we have again the picture of king, and this time he is addressing Anar. Okay, Cheggu has taken 800 square meters of land. Anar, now I will give you as much gold wire, which can make a boundary for land with area 800 square meters. Page 158. So, Anar also tried many different ways to make a boundary for 800 square meters of land. Towards the right side of the page, we see a picture of Anar trying his luck in making the boundary for land with area 800 square meters. He made rectangles A, B, and C of different sizes. Find out the length of the boundary of each. How much gold wire will he get for these rectangles? Rectangle A, 40 meters by 20 meters. Gold wire for A is equal to dash meters. Rectangle B, 80 meters by 10 meters. Gold wire for B is equal to dash meters. Rectangle C, 800 meters by 1 meter. Gold wire for C is equal to dash meters. But then Anar made an even longer rectangle. Observe how long. Rectangle D, 8,000 meters by 0.1 meter. So he will get dash meters of gold wire. When the king heard this, his reaction was, "Gosh, how can I give you so much gold?" Now do you understand why the king fainted? On the bottom right of the page, we again have the wise bird asking us, "Can you make a rectangle with a still longer boundary?" I made a rectangle 1 centimeter wide and 80,000 meters long. Imagine how long that boundary will be. With that much gold wire, I can become the king. The chapter 11.